Hi, welcome to HowtoDandD. My name is Fred Weller and today I want to talk to you about my custom Dungeon Master screen. Now, a few years back they made a Dungeon Master screen for Dungeons & Dragons 5e. I wasn't totally happy with the generic Dungeon Master screen, so I decided to make my own. I decided to use an old Dungeon Master screen that I had from Dungeons & Dragons 4e, and so I converted that into my 5e version for my Dungeon Master screen. I removed the interior panels. Then I jumped online and I looked for 4 panels that I thought would be useful to me when I was running a game for Dungeons & Dragons 5e, and I printed them out. I will leave a link in the description so you can see the PDFs of that particular file. There are in fact 6 panels, but I only selected 4 because I only wanted a screen with 4 panels. I attached all of my interior panels with double-sided tape and just made sure that I taped right around the very outside edge and down the middle to make sure that nothing would sort of have little loose ends or dog's ears on them. Because I was new to Dungeons & Dragons 5e, I really needed information on how to make ability and skill checks, and I needed to understand how to set my DC or difficulty class. So what I found was these 2 particular panels, one covering strength, dexterity, constitution, intelligence, wisdom, and charisma. It also gives me a rundown on what is considered very easy, moderate, hard, very hard, and pretty much impossible DC for any kind of check. It then gave me a whole lot of examples of what I could be looking at in terms of a DC for any particular check and how to use the different skills in the game. As you can see, some of the print on this particular panel is a little bit small. If it had been bigger, it would have been perfect. It includes some very nice artwork, although really not useful or absolutely necessary on the interior of any sort of Dungeon Master screen, really. It also covered things that were automatic, things that I could not worry about rolling for, that players could actually do straight away. Constitution covered things like concentration checks, a new concept for me as a Dungeon Master when I was dealing with Dungeons & Dragons 5e. The third panel, surprisingly, even though I was not expecting it, is almost perfect. It covered things like character advancement, how to deal with travel, how to deal with the cover rules, which were new to me, dealing with short rests, long rests, donning and doffing armor, the exhaustion levels, which of course I could never remember, how to deal with damage and dying, and how to deal with all of the different conditions that would be used in the game of Dungeons & Dragons 5e. The last panel is just brilliant because being new to Dungeons & Dragons 5e, I really needed to know how a turn would work, and it breaks it down into how to deal with movement, interactions, actions, bonus actions, and reactions. And it gave me a list of what was considered an interaction and how to deal with and use the different actions in combat. Absolutely brilliant when you're starting out playing Dungeons & Dragons 5e. Look, this is one of the best screens I've ever seen. I will say the downside to this is it's a little bit too wordy in some places. The print is just not big enough. Some of the artwork could have been removed on the interior just to make the lettering a little bit bigger in some locations. I don't really use this Dungeon Master screen anymore. It was useful to me 2 years ago when the game first came out, and now I'm using a different screen. But I thought I would show this to people. You might find it useful to you. It's actually not very hard to do, to take an old Dungeon Master screen and repurpose it for the use of Dungeons & Dragons 5e. If you found this video helpful or informative, please share, like and subscribe. Make a comment below if you have any questions about this particular Dungeon Master screen that I made quite a long time ago, and I will do my best to answer those questions. Sorry I was not able to actually show you how I made it because I made it so long ago and I wasn't running this channel when I made this particular screen. Until next time, keep rolling those 20s.